Hello, guys. Sorry about the delay. So get excited because this is the third day of the 3-day debt-free challenge. And so far, we've talked about how to talk to yourself. So, how to mind your words, how to eliminate debt. Hey, Christina. And then today, we're talking about how to make more money. Okay. But we've been looking at this entire time self-reflection, so introspection questions on really how to begin to shift your money mindset and your behaviors around money. Okay. And so when I say make more money, how would you like to make more money? What's your first thought? Do you immediately go into the lack, the not enough, the excuses? Do you say, there's not enough time, I don't have enough energy, who's going to feed the kids, right? Who's going to cook dinner? Did your mind immediately go there? And so, that's something really important to pay attention to if your mind immediately went there, right? Because really, we should be like, you know what? I would love to make more money. Money flows easily to me because we go right into the affirmation. So the negative thoughts come in, the negative words come in, we go right towards the affirmations, right? So money flows easily to me. I have 24 hours. Everyone does, but I have more than enough time to basically get in the things that I want that I prioritize, right? There's more than enough time. And so you tell yourself that. And then I'll ask for help. I'll ask for help with the kids. I'll ask for help with dinner if I need to. So change the negatives into positives, okay? And so, I forgot to ask, how did yesterday go? So the challenge for yesterday, we were talking about how to eliminate your debts. You were going to total all of your debts in each category. So student loans, credit cards, medical bills, car, whatever it is. You're going to total those and be aware of actually what is your financial status right now, right? And then you were also going to, and now I'm trying to remember what I asked you guys to do. We're talking about eliminating debts. I'm like, if you can remember what I challenged you guys to do yesterday, put that in the comments. Because I'm like, well, what did I ask you? There was another thing I asked you guys to do. So we're talking about being aware. Yes, 24 hours. I want you to write down everything that you were spending for 24 hours. So did it bring awareness? Like, how are you feeling when you were writing down both your totals for your debt and 24 hours worth of spending? Did it bring awareness to, okay, I'm spending a little frivolously, I'm not really paying attention, I'm not being intentional, like what came up for you? Or you're like, no, I'm good, I didn't spend any money. Christina, write down everything you spent money on. Thank you, Christina, I appreciate it. It was like, it's early, and I'm like, oh man, I don't even remember. But okay, so think about those two things. How did the challenge go for you? Okay, so let's get back into the meat and potatoes. Okay, so we just talked about moving your negative words to positive words, right? So you'd love to make more money, and you have more than enough time in a day in order to get everything that you want that you actually prioritize. Okay, and so one of the first questions I always like to ask is, so what is your why? Why are you seeking more income? Hey, Nicole. So why are you seeking more income? And so for a lot of people, you really just want to create more space in your spending plan, right? More space, more wiggle room. You want to have less worry. You want to look at the end of the month and be like, and not worried that you're going to have more bills than you have money, right? Because that's a pain point for us. So when you look to have more money, you're like, okay, well, maybe I want to pay off debt. Maybe I want more wiggle room in my budget. Because then it's a lot easier, right? It's a lot easier to make a spending plan or budget when you know, okay, the money is there, and you have to keep telling yourself the money is there, okay? And so now, what do you enjoy doing in your leisure time? Because we're trying to really figure out for you what you enjoy doing and just what's exciting for you. And then I always throw in, you can always find something that you can do alone, but also that you can do with your kids. Okay, so it's something where you say, okay, we love to, I don't know, make lemonade. We love to make cookies. So this is something that you guys could do together that both brings you joy, and then something that you guys are like, we just love to do this together, right? Or it could be anything from like something you love to watch. So if you like to watch, kids reviewing toys on YouTube and your kid wants to do that, then why not, right? Because I mean, you can actually make money on YouTube with how many views you get on YouTube. And most people don't know that. You can actually, what's the word, monetize that, okay? And so it could also be, so we said that something that brings both you and your child joy, but also you could be a service to the community. So you can really do some brainstorming for that with your kids too, okay? And then I always tell the two stories of, I have a friend that her kids and her actually, they have a lot of creative juices flowing. She's a very spiritual person. So she does a lot with just crystal necklaces and bracelets. And now they're using like glitter and paint to make paintings and wax unicorns, everything you can think of. But she was just looking for a way to get her kids involved and to keep them creative, you know, because sometimes the schools don't necessarily foster as much creativity as we would like in the kids, right, in our kids. And then I also have a friend where she decided she wanted to make deodorant. She was like, you know what, I'm making natural deodorant. She makes it in a roll-on. She makes it in the regular powder form, in a jar, any way you like it, she makes it. She sells it at the Houston Craft Fair, and she also sells it on Etsy online, and then she's selling it back home in Nigeria too. So it's something both you can do alone or that you could figure out how to get your kids involved, okay? And number three, the third question is, what is the time commitment? What is the time commitment, and is it something you can adjust to and make work for you? Okay, because you're really thinking about, okay, well, I have to spend time away from my family because that'll be important, or is it something that I can actually do from anywhere? Because that's even better, right? Where you could just take a laptop and pick up, and if you guys go on vacation or to be at a sports game, you could still make the income that you're looking to make, right? So those are important things, because you want to make sure that what you're going through is beneficial for your family still, okay? Number four is, how much money will the income stream actually bring in? So this is how much additional money you'll be able to put towards your debt, okay? And so I usually like to say, you know, you make two columns. Let's say you have three items where you're like, okay, you know, these are the three things that I'm considering. You know, maybe the kids and I make cookies, and then the second one is, okay, or I could, you know, do an Etsy shop online, or I could teach English online. So those are your three things. So you write those three things down and then number them 1 to 3. Number 1 being the one that you want to do most, right? That's most exciting or brings you the most joy or gives back to the community. And then on the other side, you put both the whatever you want to do plus the how much it would feasibly make. And you have to guesstimate a little bit. That's cool. So you're like, okay, maybe it'll bring in an extra $200 a month. So you write that down, the name and then how much it'll make, okay? And then you number those. And you say, okay, from number 1 to 3, number 1 being, okay, this one makes the most money. And then kind of compare the list and see, you know, like, okay, well, does what I want to do match up with what makes the most money? And you just kind of look to see if it makes sense for you, okay? So that's how much money it would add to your monthly income, okay? So that's important, because if you're applying it towards debt or putting in some kind of fund to save for later, you want to know how much it's actually making. And you want to know how much it's making before you commit to it too, right? And so the fifth question is, how much do you really want to make more money? Like, how much do you really have like the urge to make more money? Seriously. And I mean, because you need to really consistently be asking yourself that, right? Because it's part of your why, and why are you even doing this whole thing, right? And it's a part of what will keep you excited and keep you motivated to keep going with it after things maybe start getting tough, right? And so another stream of income may mean, you know, we talked about that, less time with your family, right? Because you'll have other responsibilities as well. So more dinners away from the house. You may have to spend less time binge watching Netflix, you know, this whole series of a whole bunch of stuff. We all do it. What can we say, right? And then I always say relaxing after work. Sometimes that minimizes that because you either have to be away from the house or you're in the office doing something. And then I say more working lunches, right? But then all of this, remember, is a change in behavior, right? So you start to change and adjust these behaviors so you can actually attain a different result, right? Because we're looking for more money because we have bigger and better goals, right? It's not just like, oh, okay, I'm looking for more money. No, we have something to do with the money, okay? And so, but what was funny is that I noticed last night is that when I made this list of things for, okay, how much do you really, really want to make more money? Everything was a negative thought or negative words. And this is what I noticed about myself because I wrote these down, right? So I was so wrapped up in talking about, oh, I'm gonna have to give up Netflix. Oh, we're gonna have to give up, eating lunch in peace, I guess, or relaxing after work, or we're gonna have less time with their family. All of this, negative thoughts, negative words, all of that. When really we should have been looking at not what we have to give up, but what we have to gain, what we're able to get, or what we're able to benefit from this, right? Because it's all about a benefit and a bigger goal later, right? It's not about, oh, I have to give up all this stuff, I have to sacrifice all this stuff. That's really not the bigger picture. Because at the end of the day, you're like, okay, because people don't like the word sacrifice because they know it means give up. But you got to give up a little bit to get a little, right? But the point is that you want to look at the benefit of what you're doing, okay? So really, we want to change those negative words and thoughts to something like this. So when we're talking about, okay, it would be great to be able to help your kids implement an idea of theirs. Who knows what it is? Kids are very creative, so it could be anything. And you're like, we're going to do that? Okay. But the point is that you foster their creativity, you foster their business skills, their marketing skills, their social skills, because they'll have to talk to people in order to sell something, right? Or able to convince someone that they need something, right? Or they need a service. But then this also enhances your skills as well. Okay, so that's important to remember that these are the positive benefits of deciding, hey, I want to make more money. My family needs more money, right? And then, of course, learning to place boundaries, that means, right, you're going to have to say no to some stuff, right? In order to do other things that you prioritize or to make more money, you're going to have to prioritize some things. Prioritize, set some boundaries, say no, because what's the saying? No is a complete sentence. It really is. Like, no, I can't do that, okay? And then protecting your time, that'll be really important because quote unquote, you'll feel like you have less time, but really if you're prioritizing it appropriately and protecting the time you do have with your family and being intentional and setting that cell phone down and Instagram and Facebook, you can protect your time, okay? And then you can ask for help. You can ask for help to, your husband or a friend or a family, whoever. Can you help me with dinner? Can you watch the kids? And so all of these will be growth for you and your family, growth inside, growth professionally and otherwise, right? So these are really the benefits of being able to say, hey, I want to make more money and I'm going for it, right? Because really the bigger picture is that we're striving for freedom and being able to live life on our own terms, right? So I wanted to make this pretty short today because this is the third day, right? How to make more money. And so once again, looking at the big picture, the freedom and the fact that we all deserve that, right? Because we want to transition from being hopeless and feeling like we're stuck and that there's more bills than money and that the student loans are shackled to our ankles and spending more than we make. We want to move past all of these pain points, right? But how we move past the pain points is really the three things that we've talked about, where you start to say, okay, how am I talking to myself? Am I minding my words? Changing what's negative into empowering thoughts, right? And then how am I starting to eliminate my debt? Because that's one of the only ways you're going to move forward is if you really start to figure out how can I eliminate my debt. If you're actually aware of how much debt you have, and then you start saying, okay, what can I do to my spending plan? Because that's now my power to spend freely. What can I do? Can I squeeze it, move it, reduce it in order to make it happen, right? And then now how to make more money. Because more money means more freedom ultimately, right? It means more freedom. So what I really like better than all these more bills than money, student loans shackled to your ankles, what I really like better is hope, freedom, I'm like, I have so many things written down here. Abundance. So we're switching from lack and scarcity to abundance, more than enough, okay? And being able to switch to these inconsistent habits to positive, consistent money management habits, right? Because it's going to change our ultimate result, our desired outcome. Because doing the same thing over and over again and changing nothing, it's insanity. And expecting some amazing result when you're doing the same thing as normal, nope. So we're just gonna go ahead and end today, guys. But I always think about this phrase is that we really have to break the generational cycle of lack, scarcity, not enough. We have to break the cycle because we really want to be able to choose. We choose wisely, right? We want to choose abundance and more than enough because you only stay bound to it, bound to that lack and scarcity if you allow it. Okay? So if you guys have decided it's time for me to take a step out on faith, right? Take a step out on faith and decide that, you know what? It's really time to shift my money mindset and really start changing and modifying those habits that I have around money. If you decided that today, then you want to go actually and go back to my Facebook page, click book now, and then book a call to speak with me. Okay? So I don't know if you guys have any questions. It's just you two on here, Christina and Nicole. Thanks for joining me, guys. I appreciate the support. Whew, I'm tired now. So I wish you guys a happy Wednesday. Bye.